What's up? This video is just a quick tutorial to show you about some of the cool things that we can do in color grading. I'm going to show you some of the fun things that we do as opposed to some of the boring stuff, just to give you a small idea of the things we do in our dark little room in post-production. Check it out. As I'm sure you can imagine, color grading is about color, which is a very important part of storytelling. What we can do, which is quite fun, is change the hues, which, as you'll notice, can take it a bit too far. But in certain genres, such as comedy, when we want things to be bright and happy, we can push up the saturation, make everything look very bright and colorful. Alternatively, if you want the atmosphere to look cold, dark, gloomy, feeling a bit lonely, you can bring down the saturation, take out all the happy tones, and give it quite a dark tone. When we shoot a film, it's really important that we film it flat. This may look really dull at first, but this allows us to capture all the information so we can play around in color grading. And we can lift the contrast and capture all of the highlights and the shadows correctly. If you don't shoot flat, you run the risk of overexposing, such as now. And then you've lost all your information and the highlights, and no matter how much you bring it down, you just can't get it back. Often what will happen in films is that a character is in a brightly lit area, and they've been exposed for this area. But then, as they walk into a darker area, suddenly all of that exposure goes down, and you lose the details in the face. You have to try and lift up the details in the shadow, but this can be dangerous, causing a lot of noise. As I was saying, if it's underexposed and you're losing details in the shadows, sometimes you're in low light conditions and you have to raise the ISO. But the danger of this is that you pick up a lot of noise around you. See these little bubbles and grainy things? You don't really want that. So what we'll do in post-production is soften the image to bring this down. It's a bit more appealing without the noise. Unless it's an aesthetic choice, you don't really want it. One of the main things that we deal with in color grading is color temperature. We can use warm colors to raise it and make it look like a hot summer's day and really warm. Or we can use blues and cold colors, bring it down, make it look very cold. Now we use these colors to create a stylized grade, and this is where we get really creative. We can create all kinds of different looks. But the only problem is that we have to watch our skin tones. Using a tinge on your picture can tend to affect your skin tones, making you look like you're either about to be seasick, dying of hypothermia, or like you got a really bad spray tan. Yikes. So we watch the skin tones and we separate them from our background grade. One of the really cool things is that if you don't really like one of the decisions that the art department has made, you can always just change it up yourself. You see this purple jersey I'm wearing? Well, guess what? Maybe I want it to be blue. And then I just have to track it so that it stays like that as I'm moving around. This doesn't just apply to clothes, it can apply to cars, objects, pants, anything you like, you name it. One of the jobs of the grading artist is to direct the audience's attention to the focal points in the shot. So in certain points of the shot, they have to look where we want them to. We can use things like vignette and focus and contrast to do this. For example, kapow! Thanks for watching. Peace out.